And your role as Squire?
Currently, I am the Squire of the Morris Ring, and this is a 2-year post, voted by the member clubs of the Morris Ring. They decide on the candidate. There were 2 candidates when I stood as Squire. The Squire is basically the overall figurehead, you might say, because the bagman of the Morris Ring and the treasurer both do the brunt of the work. But my role is to travel around the country, to meet the clubs, to help the general day-to-day running of the Morris Ring. It's now become quite a large organisation with clubs all over the country and across the continent and in other countries. The role of the Squire as such is really a figurehead. I have no say in how a single Morris club runs its own affairs, except to the fact that perhaps if they were badly behaved or they'd offended somebody, which in real terms is a very rare occurrence, I would again overview the situation there. My other duty, you might say, is to meet dignitaries, the mayor, mayoress, maybe wherever we go. I very often, if I go to a weekend of dance, make myself known to the local police force in case there are any issues that come up. And my most important part is to be the chairman of the ARM, the annual reps meeting, where the clubs meet every year. And as I say, this is a 2-year post, so every 2 years they vote a new Squire. The Squire elect at the moment is Thaxted Morrisman, Paul Rees, and he will take over from me in July. The final weekend ring meeting of the year is when the Squire dances out and the new Squire dances in. And I pass on this beautiful badge for him to wear for 2 years, and it's a superb piece of silversmith work. It is unique. It is a great responsibility and privilege to use, but I will pass this over to Paul Rees, and he will subsequently pass this and the chain of office and the staff of office, along with the Squire's tankard, to his successor. We travel the length and breadth of the country to meet the clubs as much as we can do, but obviously along the way there are those clubs we hardly ever see, because they are fiercely independent. All the clubs are fiercely independent. They have no dictatorship from the Squire, bagman or the treasurer. We facilitate publications, practice sessions, instructionals and ring meetings, but the clubs run all of the events on behalf of the Morris Ring. The Morris Ring was founded in 1934 by 6 original clubs who decided that we really did need a bonding body, you might say, for the burgeoning clubs that were beginning to start around the country. And the Morris Ring has not really needed much in the way of change. The way they set up the original body was to vote a Squire, and the first Squire was Alec Hunter. And then they decided they would have a bagman, and the first bagman being Walter Abson. Now in those days, the bagman would arrange all of the Morris Ring meetings, but as they became so much bigger, they realised that in real terms the host club should run the ring meetings. So this filtered down to the host clubs, but with the bagman still having some measure of duty over the organisation of a ring meeting. But I've said numerous times that the clubs are the most important, and they in effect run the Morris Ring. The day-to-day workings by the bagman, who is the secretary, and the treasurer, who obviously keeps account of everything, especially in the very important insurance aspect these days. They run the day-to-day workings of the Morris Ring. I myself and my successor are literally figureheads, although there is a great deal of work to be done these days, and we're not the old-fashioned organisation that so many people think we are. New technology plays a great part in our day-to-day workings, so that we can be as efficient as possible to supply the clubs with support, and we facilitate publications, research, archive, instructionals, and regularly advise clubs and advise other organisations about the Morris. So there is a constant stream of work for the three officers to do. The great thing about being the Squire is you can get to travel. While I've been Squire, I've been to Holland twice, Germany, Hungary, and I feel that's important, that we show the Morris Ring across the continent. It's my job to fly the flag, you might say, for the Morris Ring in different parts of the country, and to meet dignitaries, whether it be the mayor, local police, local district officers, and explain to them how the Morris Ring works.